The science is clear. It works. It works for flexibility. It works for increased caloric expenditure. It works for circulation. It works for a variety of different issues.
Welcome to the podcast, Dr. Conviser. So, what is whole body vibration?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. Whole body vibration is a platform that you can stand on, sit on, you can use as part of your daily movement activities. You can use it to enhance the traditional exercises that you would normally be doing. And for individuals at the two ends of the spectrums, from the elite athlete to the individual who is really in a medical fitness environment, allows us to stimulate the body in a safe, effective way so they get the results that they're looking for. It's not the only piece of exercise equipment that you would have in a gym, but it certainly is a wonderful piece to add to any exercise regimen.
Yeah, so people go to the gym. Do a lot of gyms have some version of a body vibrating machine, or is this something you probably wouldn't see in everybody's gym?
It's the perfect question. In environments where the personal training staff or the staff that develop programs for special needs, either at the higher end or lower end, almost always you have some kind of vibration platform that's made available. It's only in the last 4 or 5 years that it has now come to the center where vibration is used as a modality for the average individual to use when they want to enhance their exercise, to modify their exercise, to get a little bit different feel from the exercise that they would normally be doing.
So when we're talking about vibrational therapy, that's not shaking ourselves vigorously, and that's not necessarily jumping on a rebounder. This is something totally different, correct?
100%. And maybe the biggest mistake 40, 45 years ago was starting to use the term whole body vibration. Basically, it's a platform that does vibrate. But when positioned on the platform, when you're in the correct position, that you shouldn't be feeling it in the head. You should feel it as a massage or as a stimulus to the body, not as a violent attack on the body. If it doesn't feel good, you're probably not doing it right. The nice part about the devices that we talk about in our clinics is that they're created in such a way that it's pretty hard to do something that doesn't feel good. The vibration allows us to take the head away and stimulate the muscles so we get a better muscle contraction, better circulation. I usually describe it as to prepare for exercise, to perform with exercise, and to recover from exercise. It helps us in all three of those tracks.
So let's step back. How did you first become aware of this and the benefits, and what made you want to study this and become the expert that you are in vibrational therapy?
So 20 years ago, give or take, I was asked to look at this machine that shakes, as you described. And everything in my training, all of my experience, all of my publications, thought, what a crazy thing to have a machine that would shake the body. What possible benefit could you have from it? And then I started to not only look at the literature and the history of vibration, but then started to include it in my research with my patients in my clinics. And I was finding that all kinds of benefits could be achieved. Now, again, 40, 45 years ago, there were really two ways of starting with vibration. The first was the Europeans. They were using it in athletics. Imagine if you're doing speed skating and you might warm up, but your competition is going to be an hour later, 2 hours later. How do you keep the muscles loose and pliable and warm when you're not allowed to be on the ice because there's other people competing at that time? Vibration was found to be incredibly adaptive to the individuals so that they could jump onto the ice when it was their turn and be ready to go. The second group of individuals was when the Soviets were in space flight and they were in an extended period of time. We also have it with the International Space Station. We're in a weightless environment. There's no such thing as weightlifting in a weightless environment. But how do you get the muscles that are contracting so that they're stimulated? So we have circulation in the periphery so that the muscles are able to stay loose and pliable. So we had it in two extremes: the athletes and in space travel, and then it started to be adapted down from different athletes down to collegiate, high school, and now it's really part of a general exercise, physical therapy environment, and frankly, for a home environment.
Can you share a few success stories with patients from your clinics? That would be great to hear.
Sure. Well, the first thing, if you came to one of our clinics, uh, our waiting room is not your traditional waiting room. We have whole body vibration units in our waiting room because when someone comes to our facilities, we want them to start warming up, and we don't want them to sit and read a magazine. We want them to start to exercise. So we encourage all of our clients to prepare their body, even if they're coming for behavioral health and non-exercise treatment for whatever the reason they're presenting. So we believe in vibration for all kinds of folks. But there's different stories that I like to share. First is we do a lot of work with obese clients. And one of the issues with obese clients is it's hard to carry a 300 and 400 pound body around and to do things because you're carrying 300 or 400 pounds. So how can we get them to stimulate muscle, stimulate activity? Being on a vibration platform gives us all kinds of opportunities for the muscles to contract, to improve circulation, to improve flexibility. And then when we are walking on a track or on a treadmill or a bike, any kind of modality, they're ready, they're more prepared to exercise. That's what we like. And one of the issues when we deal with obese and very deconditioned individuals, it's not the fact that we get them to come for the first time. We want them to come back the second, third, and fourth time. And we know that when they use vibration, they feel better, they move better, they're more in control of their body. They go, wow, that's something. I'm not quite sure what that is, but I like that feeling because they haven't had that good feeling of moving and allowing your body to say, hey, I'm a better entity when I'm moving than when I'm sitting and I'm stagnant. I have another group. We deal with a lot of mature adults, and balance is a big issue. Balance in general, balance because of Parkinson's, balance for a variety of different reasons. And even though when you see the machine and it's turned on, you don't see it moving. It's not shaking so that you can visually see it. But when you stand on it, what it does is it creates an imbalance, a safe imbalance. So it forces the muscles to contract to literally prepare to lose balance, gain balance, lose balance, gain balance by creating an environment where you could be off balance. You have a device that is shaking the muscles so you go, okay, I'm listing to one side, I'm going to come back. And it's all fractional. It's very, very small changes. But when someone steps off a device, they go, oh, those muscles are firing now. It's almost like I hit the light switch. Uh, we did a study in spring at the Spring Point Senior the Spring Point Senior Assisted Living Center, and we asked these individuals who are late 70s, 80s, and 90s to be on a vibration platform, and overwhelmingly, they said ADLs, or activities of daily living, walking speed, walking distance, going upstairs, going downstairs, being able to carry a bag into a room, to go out with their family to a mall, to be able to do activities of daily living were so much easier after they had been on a power plate. That's what people pay me for. That's what I get my kicks from, is when someone goes, you're helping me feel better. Third example, I have a client who's a very famous musician, and this person's hands are really struggling right now and is a world-class musician. This person, before they walk out onto the stage with the orchestra, just puts their hands on the vibration platform. So their hands are very loose and pliable. So while some people might be using it to train as an Olympic athlete, I have somebody else who's using it so that they can still function and have dexterity and comfort in their hands so that they can play their musical instrument. Fourth is one that I haven't, there's not a single person that I've met that doesn't have a bad back, had a bad back, or know someone who has or had a bad back. And we know that with vibration that we can relax the muscles in the lower back and the hips so that it doesn't stop the issues of why someone may or may not have a bad back, but it certainly is a modality that allows for the comfort and the prevention of having somebody who has a bad back. So you could have it for those who are at the far end of the medical fitness continuum. You could have it at the other side for the most elite of elite athletes who are looking for another tenth of a second or another quarter inch of height, whatever it might be. And then for the average person, it just makes you feel better. Your feet don't swell as much. You're much more flexible. You're more comfortable sitting in a chair. You're more comfortable when you're standing up. It's a device. It's a product that is used for all different situations. Somebody asked me, well, give me an analogy to a tool. And I go, a hammer can be used by a carpenter for rough carpentry, to a craftsman for very fine tuning, and everything in between. With vibration, you can use it in almost every general exercise and every athletic or medical fitness environment.
So are there vibrational therapy almost sounds, let's use the word voodoo or pseudo-scientific, and yet there are multiple published studies looking at the physiologic effect of vibrational therapy. Can you share some? Maybe some of them are yours, but what's the literature say?
So there's lots of papers and lots of stuff, but now let's kind of limit that to there's about 2,000 fairly decent controlled studies that have looked at vibration in a variety of different environments. And we know that vibration is a wonderful tool. It's not the only tool. It's not the best tool, but it allows a clinician to help advise someone how to move and move more effectively. It helps an individual who wants to have an exercise piece of equipment at their home that takes a very small place that allows them to feel better and to be able to use their body. Instead of a big gymnasium, they can use it in a variety of different ways. There are hundreds and hundreds of the company that I like, the product that I like is called PowerPlate, and there's hundreds of training videos, how to use it for a bad back, for feet that are swelling, for flexibility, for improved muscular power, muscular endurance. The science is clear. It works. It works for flexibility. It works for increased caloric expenditure. It works for circulation. It works for a variety of different issues, but it's not the only item, but it certainly is a tool that should be in everybody's toolkit, whether they do it in a clinic or they do it at their own home.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember reading when I first was studying this years ago that the guys who were using jackhammers out in the street to break up cement, which were very intense vibration, it was noted that these guys, the jackhammer operators, would develop rather impressive muscles, and they actually had weight loss. And somebody said, son of a gun, I think it's this, constant vibration that's in fact building muscles and stimulating caloric burn. Is that a true story, or is that an urban legend?
Both. exercise is good. Exercise is healthy. Too much exercise can also be not so good. Using a jackhammer for 5, 6, 7 hours, the amount of vibration that is being addressed to that individual, they want to make sure that they're physically capable of handling that kind of vibration for that length of time. With power plate, the stimulus is usually 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, maximum of 30 minutes of vibration exposure. And what we do is we're able to have the hertz level, or the amount of vibrations per second, as well as how high or how intense that vibration will occur. For example, if you were driving and there was a rumble strip or something that you would run over, if you run over maybe a foot of the rumble strip, you and then your body relaxes. But if you had to drive on that for 30 minutes or 3, 4 hours, you'd probably not feel so good. The whole idea of vibration, and the clients that we work with in our clinics, we usually have them exposed to 5 minutes to 10 minutes of exposure over a 10 to 20-minute period of time. So we have the exposure, we let the body rest. We have the exposure, we let the body rest. And that's when I think it's most effective. The literature also supports, maybe I should say it a different way. The literature does not support being on a vibration platform for 6, 7, 8 hours a day. The whole idea is that you exercise, you improve the quality of your life, you enhance your activities of daily living, and then turn it off and go do the things that you enjoy doing. That's why not only do we have these products in our clinic, but we want our clients to have them at home so that they can make it part of their day-to-day routine. For some, to get them going in the morning, they use vibration to help wake up, to get the kinks out, to start feeling a little bit more comfortable. It takes them a while to just loosen their body up. For others, they come home and their feet might be swelling. They might be a little bit tired. Traffic was a little stressful, and they use it as part of a relaxation program. And others use it to enhance the exercise that they're doing. The important part here for your listeners is that you don't have to do it for the way other people do it. There are hundreds of tapes. There are a variety of different ways of going, this is my issue. This is how I can use vibration to help me with my issue. And that's why I think it's so strategic when we work with our patients, that it's not everyone does it the exact same way. Everyone does it the way that's most important to their particular needs.
Yeah. So there are a lot of vibration platforms out there. How did you decide to use the power plate for your clinics?
I think this is the most important question that you or anybody will ask. You're right. There are lots of products out there. The reason we have chosen power plate, and the reason I've used power plate in my clinics for not quite almost 20 years, is that they use what's called a tri-planar approach. The product will go up, down, front and back, side to side. And that tri-planar approach to vibration allows someone to stand, sit, lie down, to use the platform in any way that they would want to use it. And the amount of vibration that's going up into the body is very controlled. It's a very smooth, very comforting kind of exposure to vibration, as opposed to what's called a teeter-totter, where there's a single motor in the center of the platform and it goes side to side, side to side. Well, if a platform is going side to side, your body is experiencing that shaking from side to side. And I've never, not once in my professional career, does someone get on a teeter-totter and go, oh boy, this is something I'd like to do for another 5, 10, 20 minutes, because the teeter-totter is a lot more abusive and tough on the body. There's also, one of the reasons that I like power plate is that the amount of vibration and the way that the tri-planar approach allows the stimulus to affect the body, is that you might see some advertisements that say this vibration unit can do 7Gs, 8Gs, 9Gs, where someone flying a jet fighter may have to experience 6, 7, 8Gs in a flight simulation or a fighter, but the average person does not want to be on a platform that creates that many Gs. It uh, 5Gs is good for my phone. It's not good when you have that exposure to your body. So we want to make sure that it's not just how much force can be created and forced upon the body, it's how that vibration is developed and exposed to the body. Again, that triplanar allows the experience of vibration, the comfort of it, to allow people to come back and ask for more. And power plate, again, I had the choice of using any product that was out there. I started well before it was a well-known brand name. This triplanar was a really important decision in putting these products in our clinics and then recommending to have clients put them in their homes.
So let me ask you a question. Can this substitute for exercise?
No, that's you asked that very nicely. No, I think the very best thing in the world is that whenever it's my time to go, I hope I had a good workout the morning before I have to go. There is no substitute. Exercise is exercise. You need a cardiovascular plan. You need a strength plan. You need a flexibility plan. You need an approach to exercise that you'll do it on a fairly regular basis for a fairly regular amount of time, and that makes you feel good. It is not an exchange for all the other activities, going out playing tennis and swimming. It allows you to play tennis and swim and do other activities more comfortably. It doesn't take over for going for a nice walk. It allows you to warm up so that when you go out for a nice walk, you feel better. It doesn't take the place of anything. It enhances the quality, the experience of what you're going to have. It makes you feel better. It allows you to warm up so that when you do the activity, you're more prepared to move. It helps you do that activity more comfortably. And then when you're done with the activity, it helps you recover so that you can go about doing the other kinds of things that you normally like to do. And could I use one example of that? I tell this to all of my clients. I go, if I take a muscle and I stretch the muscle this far and I let go, it creates that much force. If I can take that same muscle and allow that muscle to stretch just a little bit more and then let go, it creates more force, more potential energy. And if I warm up with vibration, I'm allowing the muscles to be just a little bit more flexible. I have engorged those muscles with blood. Blood carries oxygen. A muscle that's more flexible has more potential for contraction. When I'm participating in activity, if I have more muscles and more circulation, more oxygen being delivered to the muscles, I am enjoying that activity. I'm doing that more comfortably. And then when I'm done exercising, going for my walk, playing with the kids, doing softball or whatever activity that you like, I want to recover that much better. I want to allow my body to just relax. I use vibration. I ask my clients, all my staff ask our clients to use it to prepare,